So today's lesson for social studies is going to be to read sections 1, 2, and 3. We did the introduction and the preview yesterday. So the first thing that you're going to do is go into your assignments and then you'll click on section 1. Now in this particular section, you're just going to read through and it's going to tell you about the New England, Middle, and Southern colonial regions. And then once you do that, you you can also click on things like if you're like, I don't remember what a plantation is, you can click on that and it will tell you what it is, or an indentured servant, and it will tell you what it is. Now, to check for understanding, you can go ahead and you can do this drag and drop, where basically it asks you questions or it has these different colored sections, and so you just drag where you think those go based on what you read. You can check your answers, you can reset it and do it again if you choose to do so. So go ahead and do that. Now, I'm actually going to read section 2 out loud, and I'm going to show you how you can highlight things. And then I'm going to show you what the bottom section looks like, which this is your notebook section. And I am going to fill out this matrix table down here with you so you know how to do it for the sections that follow after this. So you're going to practice that yourself, going back into section 2 and filling it out, and then doing section 3 on your own. So as you can see here in this matrix, it says New England colony for MA, which is Massachusetts. So while I'm reading, I'm going to be looking for these ideas. What is the reason for founding the colony? What is the reason for going there and starting this colony? What is the geography like? What is the economy like? And what is the government like? So I'm going to go back up and I'm going to read this out loud. Again, you can always play the text if you choose to do so by clicking on this arrow here. I'm going to click on the highlighter because I might start to highlight things that I notice will be information that I want to put in the matrix below. Okay, so Massachusetts Bay, New England colony. The first group of settlers to come to Massachusetts were the Pilgrims who arrived in Plymouth in 1620. They wanted to leave the Church of England. A group of Puritans seeking religious freedom, led by John Winthrop, formed the Massachusetts Bay Colony. They settled in New England in 1630. These Puritans wanted to freely practice their religious beliefs in the new home. Okay, so I do remember from the matrix that it said, what is the reason for founding this colony? So I'm going to go back up here, and I already have my highlighter on, and it does say here that these Puritans wanted to freely practice their religious beliefs in the new home. So I'm going to highlight that. And I'll choose a color. There we go. Now I'm going to move on to the next section, which I can tell right away is going to be about geography. The rugged geography of New England did not make the Puritans give up their plan. The soil was rocky and winters could be harsh, but there were also vast forests and clean water. The winter cold killed insects and germs that caused disease, so colonists in New England often lived longer than people in other regions. All right, so again, I know that it says that the geography was rugged. I'll use a different color. It says that the soil was rocky. It also said that, this is about the climate. Winters could be harsh, but there were also vast forests and clean water. So I'm going to highlight those ideas. So I know that that is about geography. Now the next part of the matrix says economy. So what are some of the things that help the economy for Massachusetts? The region supported many industries. Colonists grew crops and raised animals on small farms. Men cut lumber from trees to build houses and trading ships. Many colonists also worked as fishermen and whalers. Fishing provided food, while whale fat was used to make oil and candles. So the economy, we know that colonists grew crops and they raised animals on small farms. There was lumber from trees. I'm going to go ahead and have that highlighted. It also says that they worked as fishermen and whalers. So I can highlight that. And they used whales to make oil and candles. Okay, so those were some of the industries that were helping the economy at that time. Okay, so the next part is about government. Massachusetts had a more democratic government than most countries in Europe. At first, only Puritan men could vote. But as time passed, all men who owned land could vote. To solve local problems, the colonists met at town meetings and made decisions by majority rule. This was the first truly democratic form of the local government in the colonies. Settlers elected representative to the colony's lawmaking body. John Winthrop was elected governor 12 times between 1630 and 1649. Okay, so we know here that it was more democratic than most countries in Europe. It also says Puritan men could vote. So at first it was only Puritan men that could vote. But then it turned into all men who owned land could vote. There were town meetings. Decisions were made by majority rule. So I'm going to highlight these things. And then we have settlers elected representatives. So those are all important things about the government. So now I would go down here and you should fill this part in. Which colony did Puritan John Winthrop found in an effort to achieve religious freedom? So, I mean, we just read about this colony, so you would pick that correct answer. Then it says find Massachusetts Bay on this map, which you'll see that I can tell that it's right here where my cursor is. And then it says to fill out this matrix. So this is where you would start typing and you would say the reason for founding. I mean, it's kind of a small area, so you would put they founded Massachusetts for. And just for the interest of time, I'm just going to show you the answer key here so that you can see that Puritans wanted a home where they could freely practice their religious beliefs. The geography was rocky soil, large forests, clean water, and very cold winters. There was small farming, lumbering, fishing, shipbuilding, and whaling for the economy, the different industries, and government. At first, only Puritan men could vote. Later, all men who owned land could also vote. So that's what you would do in the matrix. You're going to type into each section and put your answers. Now, I've done this one for you, but you're going to have to fill it in on your own account. And then, since I just showed you how to do that, you will also fill it in for section 3. So, that is your assignment today. You need to read sections 1, 2, and 3. That is located up here in the assignments tab, and fill in the matrix. Also on section 3, you will see that you need to fill this in right here, select the appropriate term for each blank, and then you can check your answers or reset as needed. So that is your assignment for today. If you have any questions, please let myself or Ms. Sullivan know. Thank you.